Monica Berg, always good to see you. Thought leader, relationship expert, international speaker, podcast host of Spiritually Hungry, and of course, the author of Rethink, Love, 3 Steps to Being the One, Attracting the One, and Becoming the One. How are you?
I'm good. It's always great to see you and talk to you.
Oh, it's great to see you. I love your podcast. I love your advice, and I love the fact that you're taking your message of, rethinking it and really branching out with it. First of all, for people who have maybe heard the podcast or read the book, talk a little bit about your mission, because I think it's so important.
My mission, and I find many different ways to do this as you're catching on to, is to help people live the life that they were meant to. I think a lot of times we get stuck in our chaos or our pain, and we get into a place of suffering. And I think that every emotion that we have, even the negative ones, are there for a reason. It's okay if you feel pain, or it's okay if you suffer, but you're not meant to stay there. It's meant to shake you and wake you up, to do different things, to think in different ways. So a lot of what I do is trying to get people to think in a different way and to look at their life experiences, even the challenges and the blessings, as a purpose. There's something greater for them to discover, to uncover, to become. The truth is, we are all meant to experience love. We are meant to give love. We are meant to live our best, most fulfilled life. So a lot of what I do is try to give people tips and tools and actionable steps to do that.
What inspired you to do Rethink Love?
Well, I think that love is a word that is so overused and it's often misunderstood. When we talk about love, it's usually love that's based on ego. Of course, that doesn't sound romantic, so nobody talks about it like that. We believe in the love stories that we see on television, poetry, music, the romantic kind, but there must be a deeper love that emerges and rooted in things that are lasting, like kindness and empathy and having core shared values and a sense of purpose, but also a commitment to change. The first lie we tell ourselves is that things don't have to change. Change is the only constant. What you get to do is you get to decide in which way you change and grow. So I see that couples that are most healthy are the ones that have a commitment to changing and growing together, right? Yeah. It's the only insurance you have that you're going to like who your partner becomes and they're going to like who you become. So my message is really rethink what you think you know about love.
What are your thoughts on couples therapy? Because I know that there's a lot of people that are a little more vocal about it these days.
So I respect any person that's trying to help people improve their lives or their relationships. And I think that couples therapy can be a very useful tool for people to have a safe space where they feel like they can say things that maybe they're afraid to say on their own, or they don't know how to communicate, or every time they try to talk, it escalates into a full-blown argument. So I think in that way, it can be very healthy to talk in a safe space. My issue, though, it often becomes a place where people replace talk for action. They go to this place, they talk about the things, and they feel like because they're talking about it, they're actually making change. And that's not necessarily true. You're meant to be able to develop those skills, right? To learn to become emotionally intelligent as a couple, learn to be able to pick a fighting style. Fighting is very healthy. It shows that you care. It shows you're passionate, but your styles have to match. So there's so many tools and tips, but I think that sometimes people become dependent on the therapist to be the fixer, when in fact, you need to take whatever it is you're getting and living that each day, applying it to real life scenarios and situations. I want people to learn to really love themselves, learn to see the other person, hear them, use the tools, and continuously do that. Once you have an awareness, follow it up by immediate action.
In midlife, there are a lot of different relationships that you look at and you analyze and you see how they've changed over time. How do you refresh some of those relationships? I'm always curious about that, because I do think that relationships need that refresher from time to time.
I love this question, and you don't even realize that you gave the answer in the question. And that is to be curious about the people that you love the most in your lives. I think often we stop seeing them. We start to have a lot of expectations of how they should show up or continue to show up for us. And that basically is a dead end for any relationship. I can tell you, as a mother of 4, those relationships are constantly changing. So it's the biggest reminder. But even in your relationship, a romantic one, or even with a mother or father, be curious about, what is it that they might want? How can you enjoy each other in different ways? The only way, really the true way to refresh any relationship is look at it with an honest lens and say, okay, I love this person so much. I want them to stay in my life, but these are the parts of the relationship I'm not enjoying. And what part of it is my responsibility? What's on me and what is on them? And then have those conversations.
I think we also talk about our own emotional and physical health. And sometimes we make these lists and we talk to people about like, I'm going to do all these things. And I've got my self-help thing going on, but it's not always easy to prioritize those things at the end of the day. And I think that physical and emotional health, they have a big influence and impact on our relationships.
I really think it comes down to eliminating the noise. I made a very conscious choice years ago to really protect and guard my time and respect my time. Therefore, you really are very clear about what you're going to allow into your space and not. And to stop wasting time with, again, things that don't make you happy, hearing things that might bring you down, scrolling on social media, all those things that kind of are the distractions. I really, really became very specific about, this is what I am going to give energy to, and this is what I am not going to give energy to. Then you actually have more time to do physical activity, to take care of yourself mentally and emotionally. Every single day, there's, 2 hours in the day where everybody knows I'm not going to see anybody. I'm not going to speak to anybody. I'm going to exercise, sweat. By doing that, by feeding yourself, by becoming whole, then you can show up for everybody else that you want to in the world. Then you can go and manifest and achieve that with which you want. Everything's body, mind, and spirit. So it absolutely has to be something that you make time for, and you will see you have the time when you carve out all the rest.
A friend of mine said, like, I put a Teams meeting on my calendar for an hour every day, and that's my own time. But I'm in a meeting with myself, and I went, oh my, that's a great idea. Like, because it reminds you too that
you're important.
That you are important too. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about Rethink It digital series. Tell me more about that and what it looks like for people.
It's 6 different acts, but we took this amazing couple that volunteered to do this because they really wanted to make a difference in the world. So beautiful couple. And we followed them. We went to their house. I worked with them. I did sessions with them based on the different things that I'm teaching in this series. And so you see their journey from beginning to end. The point of it really overall is to get people to rethink the relationship they have with themselves and why they make the choices they do in relationships with other people, and then how to course correct. So there's a lot of tips and tools, and it's also entertaining.
Where can people find you and find the masterclass?
So the masterclass can be found on spirituallyhungry.life. That the name of my podcast that I do with my husband is also called Spiritually Hungry. You can follow me on social media. You can go to my blog, rethinklife.today.
Wonderful. Monica, it's always good to see you.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.